It was the doctors. They intubated me and sort of evolved the vocal fold on the right side.
So you're 21, you get your whole life in front of you. You're with some of the biggest artists in the world. Like, you guys are going up as a team. And then the one thing that you need to be a rapper, your speaking voice, is gone. What are you thinking about during that time?
Death, drugs, and plenty of alcohol. Even in that sort of moment, I was able to pivot because I still wanted to be great.
Do you ever feel like the accident was sort of a blessing in disguise?
It absolutely would. AZ was an interesting human being. He had an it factor that made him really attractive, dangerous, and 1,000% real. I always tell Dre that he's more of a producer in the sense that he's making a film,
Yeah.
more than a record, because you can visualize the art inside his production. All these years later, it took all of this time for me to find out that I'm still just that same kid from West Dallas. You know, just a good guy. I feel good when everybody wins. I'm down to work towards that.
You guys are in the presence of greatness because the DOC is here. It's been a long time. I've always wanted to meet him. He's rap royalty, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming out.
He's like, I am?
You grew up in Oak Cliff area, right?
I was born and raised in, West Dallas and then Oak Cliff. You know, sort of both of those spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric grew up in Oak Cliff,
Yeah.
so he probably...
And Davis and Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
I'm Keys Poke.
Keys Poke.
Okay.
Keys Poke.
Yeah.
Someone told me this years ago, and I didn't know if this was true or not. DOC, does it stand for Dallas Oak Cliff? Or is that
can.
That's an urban legend? Whatever you want it to be?
Yeah, you know, drug of choice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
Somebody told me that. I'm like, I don't know if that's true or not. I'll ask them. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it came about when I first went up there to the start doing music with those guys out there.
Yeah.
They had their name was an acronym, and so
Right.
I just made mine an acronym, sort of just to sort of connect the two.
I apologize. We didn't have coconut water. You specifically asked for coconut water. I went to multiple stores. I feel like at one point, like every store, there was a plethora of coconut water at some point, and now it's hard to find. I went to
Yeah.
like 3 gas stations trying
Because
to
I
find.
want it.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to hold it
Exactly.
hostage.
We've been trying to get here for years, and the one time you get here, nobody's got coconut water.
You
I went
shoulda-
all over town.
You should have told me, man. I was at the gym.
They have coconut water there?
Yeah.
So you have core water. That's kind of like high dollar water, I guess. It was like
I'll take it.
$1.50. So
I'll take it.
yeah. But thank you so much for coming out. It's an honor to have you here. Do you remember what age you were whenever you decided that you wanted to start rapping or just get into music in general?
Yeah, sixth grade. Sixth grade. I don't know what. That's about 10, maybe 11.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. And I was horrible at school by that time. First 3 years of school, I was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
You know, after the 3rd grade, shit must have got hard. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I wasn't that good anymore. So by the time the 6th grade came around, I was not doing well in class. Last couple weeks of school, they're throwing a talent show. Does anybody think they got a special talent?
Yeah.
It gets you out of class for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I developed a special
There you
talent.
go.
You know?
Who was it that you listened to in those days that you were like, I kind of want to do that? Was there an artist that really inspired you?
Well, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, the early days of hip hop for me was sort of late junior high school going into high school.
Yeah.
You know, Apache and The Message and all of those records started showing up,
Yeah.
and I thought I could do that.
Yeah.
You know, but it was when Run DMC showed up, and the movie Crush Groove came out.
Yeah.
I think that's when it really kind of hit me. Like I want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I could do that.
See, for me, like writing is incredibly difficult. It's hard for me I have all these thoughts in my head, but it's hard to put them on paper. For you, does that come naturally? Did you develop that at an early age?
Yeah, it's a gift.
Yeah.
I mean, I was, like I said, I was pretty bad at school.
Right.
So by the time I got to high school, I developed a really ingenious way to skip school and my parent not know. So while I was skipping school, I made sure I learned a word every day.
Right. Yeah.
So that when I got home, I could throw that word on my old man.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, wow, man, my kid's really studious.
Yeah.
You know, not knowing that I read that at the Burger King up the street or something.
Yeah. But what a great plan, though. And it really helped you in the long run.
Yeah.
It's kind of what Eminem, I heard, did when he was going through like the thesaurus and dictionary to try to find words that nobody else was using.
Yeah.
Which kind of puts you ahead of everybody else.
That's right. That's right.
You were part of a rap trio, right?
I was part of a group called the Feel the Fresh Crew.
Here in Dallas.
Yeah, here in Dallas. Christened by this guy named N.W.A, who was a really big radio personality here.
Yeah.
In the mid to late 80s. And he had connections with those guys in Los Angeles. And invited those guys down to Dallas, and I had a chance to meet them. And Dre and I really kind of connected.
Dre was part of that group?
Yeah.
Okay.
The group was called N.W.A, I think.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. I think I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
A little underground group.
me and that guy really hit it off.
Yeah.
You know, and he was like, wow, bro, if you were in LA, we'd be rich.
Yeah.
And I was like, I ain't going to, LA.
Yeah.
About 6 months later, my mother tried to send me to the Army.
LA didn't seem too bad after
All
that.
of a sudden, LA got really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious about like how the music scene in Dallas was at the time, like the music area. Because when I was a teenager, it was Deep Ellum. Now there's really not a music area anymore here. I mean, I guess there's still places in Deep Ellum that have live music and stuff, but was Deep Ellum even a thing back in like the
It was just
80s?
starting to
Pop?
bubble, and I did a couple of Feel the Fresh Crew shows there.
Yeah.
But I'm a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid. I don't know anything about a scene.
Right.
I don't have any money. So other than just going up there to rap, I wouldn't ordinarily even be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Dallas as a destination place, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, for artists and building and blowing up.
Yeah.
That time hadn't showed up in Dallas, but it's actually here right now.
Yeah.
Like now, our time, like Houston had their time, and LA had their time, Atlanta and New Orleans, and so on and so forth. That moment is here in this city right now.
You think about how many people have come out of Dallas just in the past few years.
Yeah.
Like Post Malone,
Yeah.
Lil Ronnie,
Yeah.
Thoreau. All these guys are getting national attention and national plays, and it's just incredible to see that. And it always puts a smile on my face when somebody represents Dallas. You know what
That's
I mean?
right.
And it doesn't forget where they come from. Like a lot of these guys still live here. I ran into Thoreau, it was a year ago. I was hanging out with some friends at a studio down the street, and Thoreau walks in, and we're all talking, and he still lives here. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a place in LA or whatever, but he still lives here and still hangs around. And I think that's so cool because Dallas is what made you who you are, essentially. You brought that to the table, to the world stage.
Well, I said destination station because most of our great art and artists, they come get them and take them.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so we never get a chance to develop. These people come here and they use these great musicians and they use these great writers
Yeah.
and these great ideas and take them to LA or New York or Atlanta because that's where they think it is. But it's here now. So
Right.
now it's time for us to make this place a destination station so they can come and deposit some of their shit here.
Right.
Instead of just taking our shit away from here.
Yeah. How exciting. Can you imagine like the next N.W.A. for the next 20 years, a group that we either brought here or formed here in Dallas?
Oh, yeah.
That would be so amazing.
Oh, yeah. I've been thinking about that for a few years.
Yeah. You moved to L.A.
Yeah.
Or are you a solo artist at this point, or you're still part of the group?
Well, I was never really technically part of the group, which is why I added the periods. They made me kind of made me feel like even though I'm putting all this work in.
Because you were writing a lot of this stuff too. Yeah.
But when it came time to take pictures and shit, I always had to stand to the side. Could you just stand over here, Doc?
Yeah. Will you take the picture?
Yeah. You know what I mean? And it bothered me after a while.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd get the better of those guys. I'm going to put periods in my shit too.
Yeah.
So everybody would be like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
And
do you use the same font too? You should have used the same font, that N.W.A. font.
No. That was a great idea.
We'll get our graphic designers on it for you. We'll produce you a logo.
I wasn't thinking about that back then. I just thought the periods was enough. But by the time my records started showing up, I was really starting to bubble in a way they weren't.
Yeah.
So I was kind of cool with the slight distinction.
You kind of brought in a unique style, and maybe it's because you grew up here in this area. My favorite style of rap is always the West Coast style, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot of that is because of what you brought to the table. Because Dr. Dre, if someone asked me who's my favorite producer of all time, it would be Dr. Dre.
Mm-hmm.
And all the artists that you guys have kind of put together and manifested over the years. I was telling these guys earlier, if the West Coast never had their own, or the East Coast never had their own rappers and, Biggie and all that stuff, as much as they contribute to hip hop, that didn't matter to me. I didn't even have to hear a song. Because West Coast was what I connected with. You know what I mean? But I think that you're responsible for that, for the
part of it.
Yeah.
No question about that.
Yeah.
You know, but at my core, I'm an old school East Coast MC.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the root.
Because that was the first one that take off, right?
Yeah.
The East Coast? Yeah. So you got inspired by that, but then you had your little Southern flair that you
That's
brought
right.
to it, brought that to the West Coast and made a whole new thing.
Hey, that's it. Because they were still rapping. When I got to the West Coast, they were still doing the Dream Team.
Yeah.
And it was still a lot of that techno pop
Yeah.
rap.
Electro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Cube had just, there's a guy named Schoolie D, who's really where that first time I heard that cadence
Yeah.
was him.
Yeah.
And then Ice-T, and then Ice Cube did his interpretation of that cadence, and Easy made it the thing. You know what I mean? And so LA had defined that as their thing.
Yeah.
But I brought, wordplay
Yeah.
to that.
One thing I'm curious is, like, you say you did a lot of the writing of the songs.
Mhm.
Now, does the beat come first and then
Yeah.
the lyrics? So
Well-
or do you just kind of think of some thought and you're like, hey, you know what? I want to rap about that. I want to write, because you come from the time when there was still the storytelling rap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you really don't see much of that anymore. But so do you start with the beat or do you start with the message?
Well, I start both ways.
Okay.
All depending on who the song is for and what the intent is. But he mentioned Dre being the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Dre is. I always tell Dre that he's more of a producer in the sense that he's making a film
Yeah.
Right.
more than a record, because you can visualize the art inside his
Yes.
production.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy to write the story based on what he's done, and vice versa. He'll hear you and know what you're trying to do and match that. Dre really is probably, and I'm maybe a little biased, but it's probably the best producer I've ever seen in my life.
I agree with that. As far as like the storytelling aspect of his music, right?
Mhm.
I remember being, maybe 10 years old. I wasn't allowed to listen to rap when I was a little kid. So I had a Walkman. I would ride my bike and listen to rap. And one of the first albums I heard was Eminem's, the Marshall Mathers EP or whatever.
Wow, that was one of your first.
That was one of my first, yeah.
Rap. How old are you? 21.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. No. I'm in my mid 30s. I say early 30s, but it's late 30s. But I don't want to give away the age because, then they may not hire me to be on TV anymore. We were on Judge Steve Harvey a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's
so,
cool.
Yeah, I know you're kind of starstruck with us, but I had a shameless plug there. But no, actually, the first song that actually got me into rap was Rosa Parks, Outkast. That was the first song that I was like, I like this. And then I just started listening. But the first album, I should say, that made me feel something, like truly made me feel what Eminem was saying, even though these were made up stories some of the time and whatever. This is kind of an alter ego character or whatever. It still made me feel something. I had no reason to be angry. I had a great life. I had family. I had no reason to be angry. But that music made me angry. I felt this. I felt Eminem's rage. I'm like, yeah, I'm mad too.
Yeah.
Why? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But that's because of Dre. I believe that's all because of Dre.
Well, some of it is because of Dre.
Yeah.
But M is
Well,
really,
yeah, his lyrics and stuff like that too.
He's a unique talent.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Without question. And he's such a cool guy. He's a real student and a fan of this art.
Yeah.
And you can't ask for anything more than that.
I'm a little older than Michael, but I would have to say
A lot older.
Whatever, dude, like 5 years.
Put that on the record. Objection, hearsay.
The first like rap album that where I listened to beginning to end, because I'm in the MTV era, and now like my growing up is like we had one television. We were lucky to have cable, but I had a sister that was 7 years older than me. So you get on MTV and there'd be some rap on there, but it wasn't showcased like until probably the Chronic came out.
Yeah.
Because it was like cool. I get to watch Debbie Gibson and Tiffany, whatever. But first album, and like I actually did some research, and I thought you worked on it, but man, Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, great, like start to finish. And then I would, because I'm kind of in the boat with Michael. I would have been 11 or 12 when Doggy Style came out. So when I was like 10 or 11, that, you know, that's when Dre hit it, and it was like, you know, they called it gangster rap.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, yeah, there's elements to it, and I mean, a lot of rap or any music genre is going to have, you know, some sort of theme to it. And so, like, you know, it was immediately like, they would do local news pieces on like, hey, this album's hitting, don't listen to it. Or
Yeah.
I think when
That's exactly the way. That's exactly the way to get them to stop.
it was like, hey, tune in tonight at 10 o'clock because your children might be listening to this.
Yeah.
And I think there was even one time in Dallas, like, it was a big deal because Ice-T was coming here to do a show, and he just had the song Cop Killer. And like
This is before he was a cop.
Right.
Yeah, which is so ironic. Every time you know, I catch SVU, and I'm like, hilarious. But there's I think they had his CDs, and it was just this big deal where they're buying his CD.
Yeah. So they destroy it.
So
He's
they
making the money.
so they can throw it in the middle of Main Street in Dallas and have this big ordeal. And I'm like, you know what? That's great. That's entrepreneurialism.
Absolutely. At its best.
But that's you know, that was probably the first album where I listened to it start to end, and I'm like, man, this is cool.
You're talking about Doggy's record.
Yeah.
Sonically, probably Dre's best work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just his ear was just so on point. At
Because
that time.
there's some times where like I'll listen to something on the Chronic and I'm like, yeah, this sounds great, but then when you get the Doggy Style, which is like just what 1 year later,
Yeah.
and it's like it sounds fuller, sounds like better produced, but not overproduced.
We were broke. when we made the Chronic, we had a little money by the time Doggy Style came. So
Makes a difference.
everything stepped up.
You had some new equipment.
Some new artists and
Right.
some new guys that play the instruments.
Yeah.
And everything stepped itself up.
Yeah, it sounded like it was there was a little bit more than just an 808 going on. Yeah.
I think Dre had relaxed, you know, because when we made the Chronic, that was a really pivotal record for us, career-wise.
That was
Yeah.
a pivotal record for everything. I mean, I remember going to 5th grade, and I just moved to a new school, and it was like there were 2 T-shirts that all the cool kids was wearing, so I wasn't wearing them. You had the kids that were wearing the Pearl Jam shirts,
Yeah.
and you had the kids wearing the shirt of, you know, Dr. Dre
Yeah.
from the Chronic.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a white shirt from it's the album basically. And I'm like, cool. And I'm the loser kid who's
With
like
your
still
Huey Lewis.
yeah, my Dire Straits.
Shirley Temple.
Nah.
Animal
Jesus-
crackers.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And so it was like, cool. So now I need to learn 2 different genre of music so that I can become cool.
So you didn't learn anything. Is that what you're
Right.
saying?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
because like this is still I didn't even have a CD player then. It was still on tape. And
Holy moly.
yeah. Yeah.
What was Eazy-E like?
Eazy-E was an interesting human being.
Yeah.
He had an it factor
Yeah.
that made him really attractive, you know, and he's charming as fuck,
Yeah.
you know, and dangerous and 1000% real,
Yeah.
you know, like the guy was built like a solid brick wall, and even though he was, you know, 5 foot nothing,
Oh,
he was
my height.
really someone you did not want to
Yeah.
screw around with,
Yeah.
you know.
I feel like he was one of those guys too that you had to kind of be careful. Like he could kind of fly off the handle if he didn't like you or like something you're saying. That kind
No,
of-
he was a quiet guy.
He was okay.
You know, and if he had a problem, you wouldn't know it until it was too late,
He just shut down.
or it shut you down.
Right. It's 1989 now. Your new album,
Yes,
debut album, right?
yes, debut record.
Comes out. You're riding heights, #1 for 2 weeks, and you're just like, "Life's a highway," as that country people say. Is that what they say? But you're riding high, and then not too long after that, you're in a car accident. How did you take that at the time? Like, I mean, I can only imagine being. How old are you at this point? 18?
21.
21.
Wow.
So you're 21. You get your whole life in front of you. You're doing so great. You're with some of the biggest artists in the world. You're helping them. You're growing with them. Everyone, like you guys are going up as a team. And then the one thing that you need to be a rapper, your speaking voice, is gone. What are you thinking about during that time?
Probably just all kinds of stuff, man, you know. Death,
Yeah.
you know, and drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and plenty of alcohol, you know. But even in that sort of moment, I was able to pivot because I still wanted to be great.
Yeah.
You know, I still had that desire to show people that I was really good at this shit. And
Yeah.
so I was just able to use their voices to sort of get off, you know.
Yeah.
I thought that would work,
Yeah.
you know, and it did kind of for a minute. Then it just stopped. And in fact, in those days, I used to put my name in all of Dre's raps and shit
Yeah.
because that was the only way I could get people to say my name.
Hey, I'm still here.
Yeah. And then he got tired of it. He go, bro, why you keep putting your fucking name in my fucking raps and shit? But that was my only way
Yeah.
to get it in. But even that, after a while, just didn't work. And I think, you know, G.O.D. blessed me with Snoop Dogg because everything that I wanted to give, he was so willing to take. And even to this day, he never ceases to amaze me how great of a human being he is because he always gives that back. You know?
That's one thing I've kind of noticed. I don't know Snoop. I've never met him, but from his persona that I see as from the public view, he seems to be a guy that he is who he is.
Oh, yeah.
He takes care. I remember watching that reality show he had a few years ago where, you know, his house and you see his kids and everything. It's like he almost did never forget where he came from.
Never. I mean, there are some people that just who they are.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you're one of the biggest rappers in the world and you still go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Yeah.
You're still keeping up with all the people you came up with.
Yeah.
You know, you're helping them out when they need help. He just seems like a really great guy.
Chuck D's one of those guys. Ice-T's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Ice Cube's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg is one of those guys. These are guys I've known for, you know, 35 years or so, and they're exactly the same guy.
Yeah.
And Ice-T, as big a star as he became on TV and in music, he still talks to me like I'm that young dude that's still the coldest
Right.
in the game. He still comes at me like that.
Yeah.
And it's really just cool to be able to stay in contact with these men.
It's family. It really
Yeah.
is kind of like family.
Yeah, no question.
For years, I thought that the injury to your voice was caused by the accident, but then I heard it could have been the hospital.
Yeah, it was the doctors.
Mm.
They intubated me and sort of evolved that vocal fold on the right side. And it if I would have left it alone, it probably would have healed itself in about a year, maybe a year and a half. I found this out much later.
Yeah.
That happens. What happened to me happens to a lot of people.
Mm.
But I was in such a hurry to get this thing healed that I went back in, had scar tissue removed, and whoever that doctor was screwed me.
Mm.
Is it too late to go back after that doctor? I got Judge Steve Harvey's number there.
Yeah, it's too late. Trust me.
Looking back, though, do you ever feel like the accident was sort of a blessing in disguise?
It's absolutely what it was.
Yeah.
I look back on those days without a hint of any anger or resentment towards anybody or anything. Anybody, the guys that most people would look at as enemies or anti-heroes of the story, a la Suge Knight. I'm thankful for those guys.
Yeah.
You know, I needed those guys to be right here talking to you today.
Yeah.
If any one of those guys does one thing differently, then I don't get to be right here right now.
Yeah, because you're 21 years old. I mean, you basically, you know, risk life and death.
Oh yeah.
And whether it's in a car accident or in, you know, the jungles of Vietnam, that's going to shape your profile from that day on.
Yeah.
No question.
And you can either let it beat you up or, you know, you just grow and adapt.
And it was tough, man. You know, I ingested a lot of shit
Mm-hmm.
trying to cover it up because being high was the only way I could be DLC again.
Right.
You know, when you're high, you're Doc. Everybody loves you.
Right.
You're fun. You're funny. You're the guy. When you're not, you're just mad. You're angry. You're bitter. You know,
And at some point, you have to figure out who's the real guy.
You know what I mean? And so coming all these years later, it took all of this time for me to find out that I'm still just that same kid from West Dallas.
Yeah.
You know, just a good guy. You know, I feel good when everybody wins, and I'm down to work towards that.
Yeah. What I think is so cool about it, the fact that you are a writer and not just a rapper. You never truly like lost your voice, like you said. You kind of continued to speak through other people.
Mm-hmm.
You lost your speaking ability, but not your voice.
Well, I lost the power behind that gift.
Yeah.
But I was always able to speak. In fact, I don't want to give any of the documentary away.
Yeah.
Because it's such a really cool story.
I can't wait.
You know, there's meaning and purpose
Yeah.
in this sound.
Yeah.
Took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah. Do you feel like, you know, they say when somebody loses a sense, their eyesight, hearing, the other senses become stronger. Do you feel like your writing ability became stronger after the accident?
No. I was pretty good all the way through. You know, my ability to be sort of an asshole increased a zillion fold.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and you'll find that out in the documentary too.
Yeah.
Like I bear it all. You know, I because this healing is not just for me; it's for everybody.
Let's talk about the documentary, which comes out when? This summer, right?
Well, it premieres at Tribeca.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, on June the 10th, which is my birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, very, very fucking cool.
We're just one day off. My birthday's on the 11th.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know what we should do? We should all go to Tribeca and watch his documentary for y'all's birthday.
Yeah, it's going to be off the freaking chain because, like I said, I may be the vehicle,
Yeah.
but this documentary is not about me. It's about us.
Yeah.
And the us may be black people.
Yeah.
The us may be hip hop.
Yeah.
Or the us may be here in Dallas Fort Worth. But it's about us, and it's our time now. You know, it's coming through me, but this victory is for everybody.
I cannot wait. So it goes to Tribeca, and then it on demand after that. Do you know?
When
Still
you
working
go
on
to
that.
Tribeca, then you get it sold.
Okay, and then after that, you get your distribution
And then-
deal.
Yeah, and then where it goes is where it goes. And people have already started to call.
Good.
You know?
Good.
Wow.
I don't know if we want Netflix though. It doesn't seem like they're doing too well.
No.
I'm telling you, people that, well, shit.
Quibi, if Quibi calls, hang up the phone.
Maybe this may be the one.
Yeah.
But it's
the one
gonna
to get 'em
cost
back.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
This might bring you back from the dead, but you're gonna have to put up the money for
Oh
it.
my God. You know what I mean? And so look, I haven't, like, I've been in this business for 35 years.
Yeah,
I've never made $1 million in this business before.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But I think I'm pretty close.
yeah.
You know, and so that in itself is enough to be super excited about. That the fact that I get to come home and the aspirations that I have for this city are, these visions are God-sized.
Yeah.
And I can only tell you that 5 years from now, you won't recognize this city
Yeah.
Yeah.
from today
Yeah.
because of the musical imprint that's going to be here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to touch on that because, you know, again, I love the local rappers we have here. I've befriended them over the years. B-Hamp, N.W.A, I don't know too well, but Fat Pimp. All these guys are great, wonderfully talented guys. Dallas had a spark for a little bit during the dance rap craze. And it made me so proud that these guys were getting the national attention they deserve. Because when you think of Texas rappers, you automatically go to Houston.
Yeah.
You got Mike Jones, you got the Paul Walls and all that stuff.
Ghetto
They were
Boys.
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, at this point in time, 2009, 2010, it switched. And now when you thought of Texas rappers, you thought about these guys. You thought about the Stanky Leg that came out of that, you know, or the Ricky Bobby or
Yeah.
whatever. And it made me really proud to be around and witness all of that. And then it feels like it died down again.
Yeah.
But then you're starting to see this, it's like this momentum building. And I feel like what you're saying in 5 years, it's going to explode.
Yeah, they got the lesson that they haven't quite learned yet is this business is a business.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a commercial value to it. And if you can tap into that, you can still be your hood guy, your street guy, but there are ways to go about it so that you could build your audience in a way that it could really benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of doing your best to get yourself locked up just so you could say you did some shit or
Right.
you
Have a story to tell.
yeah, man, it's unfortunate that these guys, like, it used to be where life imitated art.
Yeah.
You know, now it's just art imitating life.
Yeah.
And even that life is an imitation.
I got a real quick question, and I and I don't want to keep going back to
No, keep going back.
to like you and Dre, because I'm more interested in you and how you feel about things. But what do you think about the Super Bowl show?
I thought it was dope.
I cried.
You know,
I teared up.
You know, the thing is, like, it was one of those shows where, you know, I saw videos of people just, you know, dancing and you know, having fun and everything, and like, I just watched it and I don't want to call it a spectacle, but it was more like the sight of it, because like I sit there and I think, you know, back when I was 12 years old, like when I was 12, when the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl against the Bills at the Rose Bowl, I think it was Michael Jackson.
Was it really?
I think it was Michael Jackson performed halftime.
That was a good one.
But
Clark showed his age.
Well, but the thing is, it's like, this is the reason why he's performing at the Super Bowl is because he's the number one music star, not just pop star. He's the number one music star in the world. So it's like we're trying to do this thing where we're bringing the Super Bowl up because we're bringing the we're having this music star take it with him. And then it was like, now the Super Bowl is big, and now we're kind of like bringing these music acts along, because it's like, hey, what's popular with the kids now? And
Right.
it's like, or what's popular with, you know, middle-aged women?
Right.
I mean,
Or
that's
TikTok.
That's how
Yeah.
Maroon 5 gets a show.
Sure.
But then this is one of those shows where it was like, man, you're looking at a form of art that is probably on page with the number one sporting event, at least in our part of the world.
Yeah.
And you're kind of sitting there thinking like, okay, which one's the bigger one here? And I mean, I know it was the LA Rams.
That's a great question.
But it was just like, it was like watching this one thing, and like
That's
I couldn't,
pretty cool.
I didn't even get up and dance. I didn't even get up because I was like, man, I think I'm looking at history, and yeah, of course you're always looking at history when you're watching the Super Bowl. But I was like, I was generally thinking like, you're seeing an attitudinal shift.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think they could have done that with a new rapper. Like
Agreed.
I don't think they could have put Post Malone out there and it be popular, because people are, you know, all due respect to the guy, there's people that are going to shoot holes in like his validity as this kind of artist. Whereas you throw Snoop Dogg and Dre out there along with Eminem, you're like, wow, 3 heavy hitters. And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
of course, you know, 50 Cent hanging out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was one of those things where like I didn't sit there and dance, and I wanted to, but I was like, man, no, this is something to watch. Like almost like watching. I kind of feel like it might be the closest thing I had to watching the moon landing,
Wow.
because like that's how there's a shift from this point on, and now it's not just gonna be like, hey, what's the best rap show that we can get for the Super Bowl? It's almost like, what's the show that we can do almost as good as that one? And it may be 10, 15 years until they have something that big.
I don't know. If the Spice Girls come back, that might be pretty bad.
Jesus. Maybe for you.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Maybe for you. But no, that was like
I agree.
That was one of those things where like I was blown away by it. Because if you put you know, those guys in their prime would have been 93, 94, 95.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way they're playing the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have let him.
Yeah.
In those times. And even today, it almost felt sort of like a forced marriage,
Yeah.
you know. But those, you know, that where we are in society right now, just for the NFL to have the balls to pull that off, they should get kudos.
Yeah.
You know.
I just was thinking, like, trying to put myself in like Dre's shoes of this guy who came from nothing, pursued his dreams, and now is playing on the biggest stage in the world all these years later. When you're right, at the time, 95, 96, you're not going to get that. But now all of a sudden you're there. I can't even imagine what's going through his mind.
And he brought everyone with him.
No better guy.
everyone.
No better guy to do something like that.
Yeah.
Because his reach is so vast.
Yeah.
He literally could ask anybody, let's do this, and they're going to do it. And they're going to give you their best. You know what I mean? And so that, to his point, that just may be the beginning of something really special going forward
Mm-hmm.
between NFL and music.
Mhm.
Because you don't just have to be genre specific even.
Right.
You know, you can get different genres up there to get up there and play around and show how inclusive
Mhm.
a country we are, and
Yeah.
you know, a sport NFL is, and yada yada yada. So there's all kind of pluses that come from from that event.
Yeah.
Now, much more than just those are my guys, and I was really happy.
Yeah. Do you still write every day? Are you like Jerry Seinfeld who has to get up and write, a line every single day?
No.
You don't do that?
Mm-mm. I still got it.
Yeah.
But something, it's always a spiritual thing with me. Something will move you. And I think the last time I was really serious about trying to write something, what was the word that they used to describe what we were going through when everybody had to mask up? It was 2 words. I forget what it was.
Social distance.
Social
distancing?
distancing.
Oh, okay.
That's it. And so I wrote a record where that was, and it was actually pretty good. I sent it to Snoop and everybody laughed. But I was trying to show how ridiculous sort of it was in the moment.
So you have to
That
be
was the last time
inspired.
something
really
has
gotta
to
be-
inspire me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling good
Yeah.
musically now because this documentary is going to open those doors for me again.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that really want to hear me do some stuff, but I think I'm more interested in finding great things and producing them.
Yeah.
Sure, I'd like to do some things myself just to satisfy, those old sort of itches in people that may be fans of that old stuff. But I'm into what tomorrow is going to bring.
First off, let me just say this. You still got it. Because I saw you perform 6 years ago, something like that. Bomb Factory. It was
Dang, was that long ago?
Yeah, it was a while back. That's where I met Sick with it.
He's dope.
He's such a great guy.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
But I just remember sitting in the audience thinking to myself, this is incredible. Because all Dallas artists.
Yeah.
Erica shows up.
Yeah.
You were there. Scarface, Houston, right?
Yeah.
But still, it was like, it represented Texas. You came out, you did a few songs, and I thought, this guy still got it.
Oh, no question about it.
I'm like, you're there. Like,
I'm going to die with it.
Yeah. And I'm just so excited to see what you do next because your story is just incredible. Here's one thing, Sick with it. We had him on a couple weeks ago. He pointed this out. So at that concert, I bought 2 shirts. I bought a DOC shirt. It was like the Straight Outta Compton parody logo. And I bought that. And I also bought this one. This is another parody. This is a Bangers. It says Texas Rangers logo, but it says Bangers. I bought it at your concert. My favorite shirt was the DOC shirt. I called that my lucky shirt. I love it. For the life of me, I couldn't find it today. Otherwise, I would have wore it. But I also was in an accident.
Oh, dude, I was wondering if he was going to bring it up.
Well, how can I not?
Like, we had 9 minutes left. We're not going to mention the fucking leg.
How can I
We're
not?
going to make it through a show. 9 minutes.
How could I not, though? Let me tell you why.
That was so awesome, guys. By the way, I love that.
9 minutes. Call it 9 minutes and 17 seconds.
If Sick with it didn't make this connection, I wouldn't have even brought this up, but I have to. So Labor Day 2018, take you back.
Shit.
I'm on a scooter in Deep Ellum, one of the electric scooters. And
One of the guys you stand up on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never done
so
it
that
before
was
in my
your
life.
fault.
It was definitely my fault. 100%.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
this is why
I'm joking.
this is why you have to watch Judge Steve Harvey. It's a little bit more complicated. We're episode 8, season 1 on Hulu now available. But I remember exactly what I was wearing that day. I was wearing my DOC shirt.
Oh, wow.
And Sick with it said, well, DOC was also in an accident, and I never made that connection ever. And because for me, even though mine was not as serious, I shattered my leg. I was out for like 6 months.
You would think it was the word. Like,
yeah, I mean, I milk it. But for me, though, in all seriousness, it was a reboot moment for me. When you're laying on your back and you can't get up to even go pee for 3 months, it starts to change things, and you start to realize, you start to prioritize things a little bit differently. So there was a couple of people that I thought of when I was in there. Again, I know there's people way worse than I have been in with that accident, but I thought of Tracy Morgan, who was in a terrible accident with that Walmart truck and is back doing what he loves, and it almost, even though it was a terrible experience, he's kind of grateful for it now.
Absolutely.
Who it made him. And then I thought about you. Not realizing the whole DOC shirt, that I thought that was Sick with it brought that up, but I thought about you and what was going through your mind at 20-something years old, and you were right on the cusp. Who knows what could have happened, but something even better happened for you. You know what I mean? It's
eventually,
like you think this is where you're supposed to go, but then life kind of throws you a curveball. I say life, but who knows what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you're over here, and you're like, then you start to connect the dots. You're like, oh, wait a minute, but if I did do this, I wouldn't have done this. And then you start tracing it all back, and then you become a lot more grateful. So even though for me that was the most, I never broken a bone in my life, and the shatter two bones in like 18 places or 16 places was a pretty devastating
he
day
doesn't
for
even
me.
know. He doesn't even know anymore.
There was no final count.
He doesn't even know anymore like
Yeah.
how bad it was.
Right. But it was a moment for me that was a reboot moment for me, a reset.
But bro, I hate to hear it. You know, it sucks. But in those moments for us as individuals are opportunities for growth
Absolutely.
that you would never get otherwise.
Yeah.
So what you think is the shittiest thing that could ever happen to you
Yeah.
is in fact probably one of the biggest blessings you could ever get.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, we got to work with Steve Harvey 3 years
Bam.
later.
See what
you know?
I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a minute for it to play itself out.
But it always does.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm learning. That's where, but you were on my mind during that time. Because I was trying to make myself feel better. Because I'm like, it's not devastating. I can
at
still
least
talk.
I didn't lose my voice.
Right. Yeah. Because that's how I make my living.
Yeah.
You know, I was putting myself in your shoes. Again, you're a talented writer. I'm
Yeah, because
not.
Michael's not making money kicking soccer balls.
Right. I just can't even imagine. I was older, you know, and I was still, I was fortunate because I was still able to do things. I was coherent. I wasn't in a coma or anything like that. I could still write, but I thought about like you guys and people who have been in worse situations and how you're able to come back from that. It makes me appreciate you more because
Thanks,
of that.
man.
You know what I mean? Even though I just sampled a tiny bit of it, it just makes me want to be more like that, more resilient, more, I don't know how to even articulate that, but your story helped me with what I was going through, if that makes sense.
And the way we think about things in today's society,
Mm-hmm.
the DOC is the Department of Corrections. That's how we see it as a society.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you really think back, if you really sit back and think about it, where I am right now with this rebirth, this is the third one. So this would be the resurrection, right?
Yeah.
The Department of Correction, right?
Mm.
This film, this moment in time, this purpose is to course correct what me and these guys basically started.
Yeah.
You know, now somebody needs to show up and say, okay, maybe we need to do it this way or change something about the dynamic in which we process and give this information out or something.
Right.
And it's already going on the web. A lot of the older guys are beginning to show up on their pages and give information that these younger guys really need to hear.
Yeah.
And so that's a part of it. If you step back and look at it from the bird's eye view, you can see the movement already happening,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I'm the guy.
Yeah.
You know, and I take my position. I'm thankful and I'm grateful for it. And I'm gonna hold my nuts, you know, and say what I feel and see if I can get these younger guys in Dallas to understand their power.
Yeah.
Because if you want real change, the real change happens in the mud.
Yeah.
It just so happens that all the guys in the mud are kind of throwed off right now.
Right.
They don't know who they are.
Right.
They don't know where their power comes from. They just know they got it.
Right.
You know, and so if you can, I say to people all the time, those guys are warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are soldiers. They just don't have a war.
Yeah.
So they war with each other. So you need to give them their war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And direct that energy and you can change some shit.
You guys did.
That's what I think.
You guys did.
Yeah.
What did you think of the movie Straight Outta Compton?
I loved it. You know, it wasn't my story. It was theirs.
You were in it. Your character
Yeah.
was
He
it,
was
you know,
there. Well,
did you give him any advice or talk to him before he
No.
took on the role?
No. I just let those guys run with it. And it was a great movie.
Yeah.
You know. But this documentary is nothing like that.
This is the real story. The raw.
It's a real story.
Yeah.
Right. What I'm most proud of is that you see these people, Dr. Dre and Snoop and Cube, and they don't look like stars.
Right.
They don't come off as, Dre didn't come off as a billionaire mogul. He just comes off as my brother.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing that I'm really proud of, that you get to see my brother like that
Yeah.
in a way that you don't normally see him.
Yeah.
And you see Eminem is just a fan
Yeah.
of music.
Yeah.
Man, or you see Erica as this, she's the, neo soul queen, but in this documentary, she's just a really beautiful woman that cares a lot about a guy.
Yeah.
And they had a baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're great co-parents and they love one another and they're, You know, so there's a lot of really cool stuff about this documentary that humanizes us in a way that you get to see us as more than just fucking people on a record cover or people on a video. You know, we're human beings that go through shit.
Right.
Yeah, like how y'all got there in the first place.
Yeah. Do you have a song on GTA?
I don't know.
On isn't there like a new The Contract or whatever?
I don't know.
You know? Oh, I thought somebody told me
about
Grand Theft Auto.
I thought that was Dre.
Yeah.
It's Dre.
There's a Dre. It's Dre, but I think they released some music. And did you help write any of that, or were you on the track or anything?
No. In fact, when people heard that song, it's how the documentary ends. I forget the name of the song. Him and Eminem are on this record, and Dre's doing this really weird voice on the hook, and people just thought it was me.
That's what I saw there, because I saw an article that popped up, and it was like DOC is on a track in GTA or whatever, and I remember hearing it. And I'm like, that doesn't really sound like him,
right? And
but
I don't want to take it away from them. If that's how they feel, and it makes them happy. Go for it.
Right.
In fact, I went and told Dre, hey, you just put my voice on it.
Yeah.
He went, shut up.
It ain't too late. We can open up that file in Pro Tools.
Yeah, man.
Now,
give me the love.
You were talking about some really talented rappers in Dallas, and you happen to be in the presence of one. I've got a song here. It's about 10 years old now, but I just want to play you a sample of it.
Man, the room got really...
Yeah. No, these guys are big supporters.
I'm thinking only 10 years old?
Yeah, it's going to be 10 years old this year. I'm just going to play a sample. I just want to get your critique, because you're a pioneer of modern rap. You know what I mean?
Careful, because I'm just going to tell you what I
told
feel.
you.
Just roast him.
I think you're going to be. I think you're going to be blown away.
Okay.
How talented I am.
No, roast his ass.
I made this back during the Dallas dance craze, right?
Yes.
I wanted a song that I was raised Baptist, we didn't dance, right? So it's just a dance where you just move your arms back and forth. It's called the Walk Like Gumby is what it's called.
Walk Like Gumby.
Yeah, and Gumby also, I made the beat.
Who's that rapping?
That's me.
Sam.
That's all me. I did everything. I'm gonna fast forward to the verse so you can hear my lyrical genius.
His flow.
Snuggy, wow.
You know, I mean, I just like, there's so much talent that's coming out of me that I had to put it on a record somewhere. Actually, honestly, you know what though? I do comedy rap obviously from time to time when I have the time. I'm not that talented, but that song, like that whole thing, the style, the I try to rap a little bit like Eminem, that kind of thing. None of that would have happened. I would never have done rap like that had it not been for you guys.
Hey.
So basically, what I'm saying is you're responsible for Walk Like Gumby. The good, bad, or the ugly. Yeah. What'd you think? Just
I thought it was really cool. I mean, hell, I wanted a Snuggie.
Yeah. We have Walk Like Gumby Snuggies coming out. I think we're going to do at some point, I got to talk with Sick with it, because I think he's going to reproduce. We're going to do a remix, a 10-year-old, our 10-year anniversary remix, I think, on it. But we'll see.
He's the guy.
He is the guy. I'm like,
the guy.
There's something about his sound that's so unique that
there's a lot of really talented. I mean, bro, there's so much talent in this city.
There really is.
And I don't want to exclude Fort Worth, because I really have a problem.
I will.
And Clark lives there.
I live there.
I kind of have a problem with the way that plays itself out.
Yeah.
Like there is no separation for me. It's just DFW.
Yeah.
You know, and I plan to make it a point going forward, every time I do anything press worthy, to make sure that people know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Dallas Fort Worth is it's a huge machine that is super powerful. It's just not working because it's not plugged up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We got to dust it off, plug it back in.
You know what I mean? It's so stupid. And I went and I talked to this guy, this billionaire from Fort Worth, and I was asking him for some money.
Yeah.
For a school that I'm building.
How cool. You're building a school?
I'm trying to build a school inside Fair Park.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Based around all arts, entertainment, and technology.
Oh, yeah.
Filmmaking and television, music production.
Wow.
You know, I'm trying to make Dallas a destination space.
Yeah.
I need an A room inside Fair Park.
Yeah.
It's inside the Women's Museum is where I want to put this space. I need an A room that's so cold that I can get Dre to come spend a week here just because it's such a great room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need Snoop and Pharrell and these people to want to come here and spend time here because of that room. And so that's where my heart is. So I went and asked this guy for some, it's going to take me about $15 million so I can get this thing up and moving.
Right.
And he said, man, I'd love to help you out. But generally, Fort Worth doesn't give money past 35 East and vice versa. And I was like, how fucking stupid is that? Like, he says it goes all the way back to the Amon Carter days. And, you know, the sister cities have always had this sort of big brother, little brother kind of thing going on. And I told him his name is Churchill, Will Churchill. And I said, we're going to work on that together, bro, because that's just dumb.
You think he made all those billions in one city? Like, you have to cross lines, you know, to start making billions of dollars. You know what I mean? You can't just let boundaries.
I know Dallas Fort Worth as a whole is one of the biggest, most powerful, most beautiful cities that they have in this country.
Absolutely.
And there's no reason why we shouldn't all be grabbing our nuts and acting like it.
Absolutely. I'm so with you on that. And I'm so glad to hear you say that. For over the years, I've always had the opportunity to move to LA and do some other stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to do what I can to help Dallas be great.
Yeah, man. It's coming, bro. It's so right here. When the Yellow Beezy thing started happening.
Yeah.
You started to see.
He's on hip hop, World Star Hip Hop every day.
They're trying to drive the commercial aspect to what's happening in the street music here.
Yeah.
You know, it's so many possibilities.
Yeah.
You just have to get these guys to understand that you have to put those guns down.
Right.
Nobody's going to give you money if they think they're going to get shot in the ass, you know, leaving the place. You know what I mean? You got to leave the bullshit behind. And if you want the money, now if you want the shit in your life, because some people want that, then I'm not here to talk you down off your mountain.
Right.
Do what you got to do because they got places for people that's what they want.
Yeah.
It's called prison in the graveyard.
Right.
That's where they send you. But if you want a lot of money, you want to get to be an old fucker like me and have a lot of money.
Right.
Come over here. Let me show you how to do it.
Right. I think that's so incredible. I'm going to have you sign this. I got this made so you can sign this and we can put it on the wall.
Dope.
Eric, would you pass that over to, and you can sign that to the DOC. And then I'm going to, again, I mentioned a couple of times that I was on, we were on Judge Steve Harvey. So I'm going to sign one for you. We're going to do an autograph swap. I'm doing a signed limited edition Michael Zavala 5x7 for you as well.
You should feel honored.
Yeah, this is this marker doesn't work. Might be a sign. I'll sign it after the show.
I should sign this to you.
You can just sign it.
Just sign
I'm going to put it on the hallway so everyone knows that you were here. But I'll sign this to you. I'll make this personalized to you. This Michael Zavala. I know you guys still get together, like, you know, Snoop and Dre and stuff every now and then. I see you guys on Instagram and stuff. And next time you need someone to carry your luggage, I'd love to be a fly on the wall.
No, he can't. No, with his leg.
They can't do that.
No.
Well, I mean, it makes it stronger.
He can't.
It makes me stronger.
Titanium.
Yeah, it's titanium.
Oh yeah.
But no, like, you know, I've always said this, and I know this is not. I'm not the first one to say this, but I've never smoked weed in my life.
Oh wow.
And do you have the marker? I always said if I was going to do it, the one and only time would be with Snoop Dogg. So next time he's in town, hit me up. I'll come over, and then you guys can videotape me for TikTok as I pass out.
That's dope.
Yeah. But
cool. We'll get some markers. We'll mark on them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, put a little mustache. But
It's not gonna be a mustache.
Where can people find out more about what you're doing, your projects, your school? Like, how can they reach you?
That's a pretty good question. And you know, I everything happens in my life right now. Everything happens organically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if it's in you, if you're within the sound of this voice, and if it's in you to want to build with me and help this city go to the next level, because everything New York has, everything LA has, everything places like Nashville and Atlanta and Miami have, you have.
Yeah.
You just haven't connected the dots and made it what it can be.
Right.
And if you're ready to take that leap, then find me.
Yeah. That's the first part of the journey, right?
Yeah,
Finding you.
Yeah.
Well, I can't speak for everyone in this room, but this studio, however I can help, whatever I can do personally, I'm on the same mission that you are. In a way, I think you're more invested, have more pull than I do. But any way I can help,
Thanks, man.
I'm always here for you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much. The DOC has been an honor. Eric, would you give this to him real quick? I just want to make sure.
Got one question because it sounds like we're about to get out of here.
Yeah.
Who you got tonight?
Mavericks.
All right.
All right.
All day.
I mean, now that's a generic answer. You know.
I'm not trying to like put you on the spot, but I mean,
That's funny.
Yeah, you can scan that little QR code and it goes right over to Hulu and opens the episode, so you can see Eric and I battle it out over my scooter accident.
That's
which
pretty
you,
cool.
which we kind of have a bond because I was wearing your shirt.
Absolutely to Doc.
Incredible. So
Yeah, that is amazing. Who are the people behind you in this picture?
they're the jury. I don't know. They were like,
Oh, wait a minute. This is at the real court deal.
yeah. We don't have
That
Steve in that
is
picture.
funny.
If you go out into the hallway when you leave, there's we have a poster that we had made, like it looks like a movie poster, and it's got Steve, Eric, and me up there, and we try to make as light of it as possible. So
Very cool.
it's a cool thing. So anyway, thank you so much for coming out. And you said you had the Mavs.
Yeah, but but the NBA is a tough call, right?
Yeah.
Is Chris Paul gonna show up? Is
he going to blow another 2-0 lead?
You know what I mean? is Luka gonna get the help he needs?
True.
You know, like those guys are. It's gonna be an interesting game. You know, I'm rooting for us.
Yeah.
Because I do love Luka to death. I think the guy's just insanely talented and super ballsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, love him.
Good deal. Good deal.
Well, thank you so much. Again, I can't even explain to you how much you just showing by and talking with us for an hour has how excited I am about that. Thank you so much for it.
Pleasure's mine, guys. I really appreciate the help getting the word out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about your documentary coming out soon.
Big deal.